I'm good. How are you?
This is the beginning of every podcast we ever have. It's a few minutes of total chaos.
Yeah, well, it's everything.
Yeah.
That's all podcasts.
Yeah, we got to make sure everyone's comfortable and all that good stuff. And yeah,
Right on.
we don't have our.
I am comfortable.
Oh, perfect.
Nice. Well, he's comfortable, so we're good to go then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go.
Let's begin.
So let me do a quick introduction, and then we'll dive into you.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Welcome to My Dad's Movie Podcast. I'm Mick Johnson. I'm the dad. And with me, as usual, my son Tabor.
I'm the son.
He is the son.
Yep.
All right. And tonight, we have a very special guest with us. Actor, director, filmmaker, comedian.
He's like, please, no, you're too kind.
Joe
Stop.
Davison. Joe Davison. How are you, sir?
Hi. How are you? And I am the guest.
You are the guest, yes.
You are the guest. Well, when you're
You
here,
are the dad, he is the son, and I am the holy.
oh, you're the son too. Yeah,
I am.
You get to be the son while you're here.
That's right.
Yay.
So, yeah.
So, Joe, you are in Florida. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
I am Florida. Yeah, Tampa specifically.
Nice. Zooming in all the way from Florida.
Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about you. You know, how you got into acting and kind of your whole deal. What do you got going on?
Well, I started acting in 1995 in Tampa, right out of high school. I graduated in 94, and then I kind of found my acting voice in 95. I moved to Tampa. I did a sketch troupe called the Sidewalk Cracks, and I'd never done any kind of acting or anything. And I met these dudes, Brian Stevenson and this guy, Christian Dumais, and Derek Caribou, and they had a show called the Sidewalk Cracks. And it was a shot on like VHS. This is 95.
Yeah.
And I asked to join their group. I wrote a few sketches. They shot them and did them. And then eventually I got into the acting part of the sketches as well. And then I did that for probably like 5 years. It got pretty big here in Tampa, the Sidewalk Cracks, because we aired on public access, which is not a thing anymore. YouTube is public access.
Yeah.
Oh man,
That's
now.
right.
But back then, public access was like you had to go to a certain channel on your clicker TV
Right.
to find this public access, and there were wackadoos on there. There were religious folk and philosophical people, and in Tampa there was a dude who like played cymbals or some shit. Anyways, so we aired on TCI cable channel 5, which was a local cable network in Tampa, Newport Richey area, all the whole kind of area here, Tampa area. And every Monday night at 10 o'clock, we had a show called the Sidewalk Cracks. And
So Joe, was it kind of a comedy sketches or what?
Yeah, it was ridiculous, stupid shit.
Okay.
Like think of like Mad TV in the 90s.
Right on.
With sketches. We'd write a sketch, shoot it in our house or outside, wherever the sketch took place, edit it, and then it'd air Monday night. And we shot all week. We basically wrote on Saturdays and Sundays, shot all week, so it'd be ready for Monday's episode.
Right on.
Right. So, which was crazy because we all worked like full-time jobs and shit, and we'd be out shooting till like 2 a.m. And that led me to meet some really interesting comedians in the area, because we were trying to do live shows too. So we didn't think anything going to a comedy club and going, hey, can we do a live show here of our show we have on TV? And they'd be like, yeah, sure. Meanwhile, comedians are like, who are you guys?
Yeah.
Because we didn't,
Right.
we didn't know, we didn't have our comeuppance. we just kind of walked in and was like, this is what we do.
Right.
Yeah. That's kind of always I did stand up for many years.
Yeah.
And there's always kind of this one-sided rivalry between stand-up comedians and sketch comedians, because stand-up comedians hate sketch comedians. But sketch comedians are like, oh, we're all comedians. We're family. We're friends.
I was never segregated like that, and so we did a couple shows in Ybor City for a couple different clubs. And eventually I met a dude who wanted to start an improv troupe. So I was like Whose Line? And he's like, yeah, like Whose Line, but like on stage. And I was like, yes, I want to do that because I love Whose Line. And I was like, I can be Colin Mockery. And so we started doing an improv troupe. And this is right around like 99, 98, maybe. I'm still doing the sketch thing. But I started doing improv. I moved to Tampa and we started our first improv troupe called Beat the Dead Horse. And there was like 12 of us in this troupe. Then we quickly learned, like, okay, 12 is too many people. We whittled that down to 6. And then we performed quite a bit. We were the first real improv troupe. And this is like 2000, 2001. Since 1979, there hadn't been an improv troupe in Tampa.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Since 1979. So Beat the Dead Horse was the first since 1979, 2000-ish to become the new improv troupe in town.
Yeah.
Because the last one on record was in 1979. We're like, what? Like, was Anna Gasteyer part of that? Like, was that the original SCTV folks? Like, who was here in 79 doing improv in Tampa? So it was cool. Anyway, so we did that, Beat the Dead Horse. And we were a pretty strong improv troupe for a long time. And then we broke off and became the Charming Hooligans. The Charming Hooligans, we performed weekly, Wednesdays and Fridays, at several different clubs in town as an improv troupe. And it got to where we were at one club every Friday night to sell sold out shows. We were the only.
Oh, wow.
They didn't even book out to other comedians because Beat the Dead Horse was playing from 8 to midnight. And we were booked out all through. Everyone in Tampa was coming to watch Beat the Dead Horse, the Charming Hooligans. So on a whim, I got one of the guys in the improv troupe, Darren Vierde, who's a very funny comedian still. He teaches in Orlando at the SAC Comedy Lab, which is like a very respectable, notable improv tourist lab treat, right? So like if you come into Orlando, you're like, oh, we're gonna go to the SAG Comedy Lab because it's a live improv show. Yeah. He's been there like 15 years running. Darren has. He's one of the most brilliant minds in comedy I think I've ever met. Anyways, so Darren, this is like 2002. Darren is like, yo, spots are open at Second City in Chicago for auditions. And I was like, what? How'd you find out? He goes, I got a friend of mine. She works like concierge there. She called me and told me. And I said, what would that take? He goes, well, you'd have to go to Chicago and audition. And then if you got in, you'd have to stay in Chicago, I would imagine. And I was like, all right, I'm a Florida boy. I've never left Florida. So Chicago in November sounds like it wouldn't be a problem.
No.
Oh man.
So he's working at a hotel at the time, like a big Marriott, and he has free hotel stays right downtown Chicago. So he books us the hotel. We get the flights. We get the audition because first you had to first call up and say, "Can I have an audition?" Then you had to send it in. Then you had to get approved for the audition.
Yeah.
So we both went up, auditioned. Got in. You didn't find out for a while. We come back. We're still doing our improv stuff. I get a letter. I made it. I was like, holy fuck, I made it. He made it. Great. And then our friend Megan, she made it because she went up. She missed that audition, but they were having these redo auditions in a week. And she just snuck into that. She flew up there and got into that and was like, I was here last week. And they're like, oh, okay. And they, whatever. And she totally lied. And then she got it.
Oh, that's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I ended up being
So your whole group made it in.
oh yeah, but separately. And what happened was, you have to book the conservatory and you kind of have to go there for a while. So I was up in Chicago for a bit, not long, and I was like, I can't live here. I can't make it, man. It was tough trying to live on your own and do
Right.
Second City and work
Yeah.
and eat food.
It's
So
a lot.
eventually I came back
You got
home.
to cut one of those out.
Right, yeah. So I was like, all right, this is great, but I'm going to go back home. So I came back to Florida. I started a new improv troupe with some of the Charming Hooligans, Jason Kranick, and he was the only one. It was just me and Jason Kranick, really. And we started a troupe called the Caffeine Kids. Now, what's interesting about the Caffeine Kids is that Ryan Bauer, who I've known since all the way back to the Sidewalk Crack days in 1995. This is now 2005. And now now we got an improv troupe together called the Caffeine Kids. So it was myself, Jason Kranick, and Ryan Bauer. And then we had Victoria Trantham, who is like a Broadway star now, and Patty White, who was like an up and coming B horror actress.
Right.
These two girls were hot as hell. And then you had my dumb, and then you had Ryan, who was the good looking one of the group, who he kind of looked like maybe like Ringo Starr, and John Stamos had a baby. Maybe he's a good looking dude, right? But he had like a Beatles haircut. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? He's like, girls love it. I was like, okay. Anyways, so and then Jason Kranick, who was this tall, skinny goth kid who looked like he was a vampire, but probably one of the funniest comedians I've ever met. Jason Kranick, between Jason and Darren, and in a show, it was unstoppable laughs with those two because Jason is ridiculous and comedic with his physicalities and his almost complete unawareness, and he plays dumb really well.
Yeah.
Right? Like Jerry Lewis played dumb very well.
Right, right.
So Jason plays dumb very well, but Darren Verde is inherently just smart. He's like a politician. He's just inherently smart. So those two in a scene together was always hysterical because Darren would get super highbrow and Jason would just get like a retard. And it would just be funny to watch them do a scene together. I enjoyed watching them more than performing most of the time.
Right.
Yeah.
So we started a troupe called the Caffeine Kids. We became the improv comedy chain. We became their in-house improv troupe. So just like we have with the Charming Hooligans, we ended up doing Wednesday night shows every Wednesday at the Improv in Ybor City, and then we perform in Orlando at the Improv in Orlando. Evening at the Improv. We're at the Improv doing shows every Wednesday to sold out crowds. I'm like, this is like everything I've always wanted is like right here.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it's just expanded more because from improv, I've always been a writer. So I've always written. Since like fifth grade, I've always written horror stuff. I used to write little short stories for my mom about Dracula and werewolves and whatever you could possibly think of. At this point now in my life, I've written over 38 screenplays and 15 novels.
Oh, wow.
I'm a published author. I have book series out. I have 2 book series out, and then separate books I've self-published that are out.
Okay.
But anyway, so I was just expanding on the fact that here I am. Oh, we got to open for Dave Chappelle. The Charming Hooligans. We opened for Dave Chappelle at the Sunday. 35,000 people. We were the opening act.
That's great.
Yeah.
Dave
Think I could find footage of that?
Oh, yeah.
No,
yeah.
1,000 cameras. No one has footage.
So, Joe, in certain circles, I was reading that you are considered, like in the indie industry, the king of horror comedy. I read that in a couple of different spots, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah. It's on the internet, so it's got to be true.
Well, yeah, that's a fact. uh, am I? I don't know. I mean, I can't. I would like to think that that's where I'm at. I don't know if I'm there yet. I mean, I haven't really proven it yet. I got a few films out that did okay. Sorority right now is out on Amazon Prime and Tubi, and that's the biggest film I've made so far. We had $1 million. It's the biggest
that is
thing I've done.
Sorority of the Damned.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't know how well that's doing. We don't have the numbers in yet, but I feel it's doing well. I see it moving. It moves. You
Right.
know, there's 1 million reviews on it on like Letterboxd and stuff. Some great reviews, and others I personally laugh at. Like one was like, "Sad it wasn't Danny McBride." Well, me fucking too, man. If I had Danny McBride, I'd be a millionaire right now. I wouldn't.
Right.
Even need
Right.
you. You know,
So
I wouldn't need me if I had Danny McBride. Shut your mouth. Yeah, of course I
Right.
wanted to be Danny McBride. But, you know, I mean, but then we have really great reviews or other reviews where they think that it's a great film and it's not just a vanity project or something, you know, and you have to take all the I've been getting reviews for shit since I started in 95. So I don't get hurt by reviews, man. I've read some of the wildest reviews on me.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing about you're going to get good stuff and you're going to get bad stuff no matter what you're doing.
Yeah,
So-
and that's okay. I'm all right with that, man. And I like it. And it's people's opinions, and sometimes
Right.
they have their reviews are honest. You know, if someone says something and I'm like, yeah, you're right. You know, I could have done a little more in the plot development or whatever. But you know, also in the excuse zone is not everyone's made an independent feature film, and it's tough. You don't
Yeah.
always you get your film funded, man. It's go. You don't really stop to look and go, okay, what did we miss in the arc of this one character? You're just excited and you go make it, man.
Right.
You know, and if the script, hopefully you've tweaked it enough to where you know it's a good script. But sometimes you miss stuff, and you know sometimes people, the audience sees it, and that's what they're there for. You know,
Right.
and I appreciate those kind of reviews. The reviews I don't like is like, oh, this fat idiot, it's just a vanity project. Clearly, you got a problem with me because I pissed you off somewhere else. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
And that's fine too. I'm glad
Some-
I got haters.
Yeah.
It's some kid in school that didn't like you, and he's
Oh,
getting back
dude,
at you
I don't
now.
know
That's
who
what it
wouldn't
is.
like me. I've always been lovable. I
Yeah,
mean, I got
you know,
a few enemies out there, but I'm
Yeah,
lovable.
that's what it says on the internet, so it must be true.
Yeah.
That I'm lovable, or I've enemies or both.
It's not, you know, something you mentioned. It's not very easy to make a feature film. It's probably one of the hardest things that anyone can do. There's so many different forms of art.
I have 4
and-
kids, man. I think 4 children is way more difficult than making a movie. Making a movie is like a fucking cakewalk for me. I'd be happy
Yeah.
to leave for 18 days to go in the Florida swamp to make a movie. At least I
Right.
know I'm going to be sleeping well without a 4-year-old foot in my ass.
Yeah. You say 18 days. Is that how long it took to film Sorority of the Damned? How long did
16,
that take?
16 days.
16?
We had an 18 day and we beat it by 2 days.
Oh, that's
Which was,
incredible.
yeah,
Did you
which
come
was
in?
crazy. Yeah. We were like, we're done. And like, yeah, we still have another 2 days. I was like, what? And then we're like, oh yeah, that's because we like my producer, Bernie Stern, was just a madman. He was on it. If we lost one location due to COVID because
Wow.
they weren't allowed to. The location was known already as a concert venue, right?
Yeah.
So they had strict guidelines. They couldn't have concerts or anything involving a group of people.
Mhm.
They said they weren't doing that because of COVID. We went in, built our whole cemetery set, and then that night they had a giant fucking rave, and it got caught, and they got shut down, and they locked it up. And when we got there at 7 a.m., we were told we weren't allowed in there. Well, my producer got there because he wanted to get there early to check on stuff because we had some day stuff to do, and then we had some night stuff to do. So when he got there, we weren't allowed in. Well, I wasn't supposed to be there till like 2:00 or whatever. He went there. I didn't know any of it. I wake up, go get my coffee. We're having muffins. I'm talking to the cast and crew. And then I get a thing. He calls me. He's like, "Hey, we're moved the shoot tonight. We're going to be over here instead." I was like, "Oh, well, okay, cool, whatever, thanks." No idea that there's a giant rave, that two of our crew member got smacked by some cracked out rave girl the night before. They tried to rip our cemetery set apart. We got kicked out of there. None of this. Bernie had already solved. He had already had a backup because he knew the rumors about this place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my producer already had another location on standby just in case something like this happened. And he called it. And he didn't have to tell me. He just had his guys come in. He worked the deal. The cops let him come in, get all the shit, take it out. They reset it up. I had no idea till I got to set. And I was like, wait, I thought this set was somewhere else. And he's like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. We're good to go. I was like,
Right.
okay, yeah.
You just show up and do your thing. Don't worry about it.
Right. So, but because of Bernie, we moved fast. And he, and our AD, this guy, Glenn Miller, he didn't, they didn't mess around, man. They were like, on it. And everyone knew their jobs. We had top tier our effects guys, Roy Knierim and his team. Those guys are fast, man. Fast. They had witches done, 30 minutes. It wasn't none of this 3-hour makeup chair. It was
Wow.
in and out, man. In and out.
Yeah.
Because, they didn't want to be in makeup all day. All right. Some of our actresses, like we had a girl, Renee Daw, in Sorority. She played the boiler room girl in the beginning who gets her head cut off. She played the dream demon girl. Then she also played the water witch. She spent she spent like 12 days in like full makeup all together between all the prosthetics she wore from all the scenes she was in.
That's insane.
Yeah, she's great, man. She's one of our really good friends. We try to put her in everything.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, she's good.
It comes when you start making films and stuff like that. You start to pick up people that are friends and that they do good work, and you're just like, I'm just going to take you on everything. I'm just going to bring you, and we're going to do everything.
Yeah,
together.
well, you want to build that camaraderie.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah. I've even picked up a couple of people that I like to use a lot from time to time, and yeah, it's always fun walking onto a set. Already it's like going back to school after summer break, and you're like, hey, I know all you people. It's kind of nice.
It is. It's and I was just talking to my distributor like right before this call, like 10 minutes ago, and I was telling her, my biggest problem is that I have I become friends immediately with people. And you can't.
Yeah.
I've always been that way my whole life. My parents hated it. My wife hates the fact that I'll just start talking to somebody in the grocery store. And next thing you know, we're like having sandwiches and shit. And she's like, why? Why do you do and talk to everybody? I was like, I can't help it. And it's sad because you build these friendships up like immediately on a film set. And then it's like, okay. And then sometimes you'll talk to that person ever again. People you don't see ever again. You might not see that sound man for 4 more shows or whatever, or that AD or whoever, and it's like, man, I really like them. And it's hard to like keep up the communication afterwards because it's like, well, I don't fucking care anymore, So it gets tricky building that core team. Is what I was trying to say. Well, I'm doing a million other things. Yeah.
So some of the movies that you've been in and stuff, I think I found out about you from, who was it? David Mitch Parks, I think.
Oh yeah, David Parks. Yeah,
you
Mitch.
did.
I call him Mitch. I didn't know his real name was David for like 3 years. I only knew him as Mitch Parks. And then I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's like, "Man, you got to meet David." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, whatever." So we set up this thing. I go to meet him. It's fucking Mitch. I was like,
"Wait a minute."
Yeah, I was like,
I know
Mitch.
you already.
This is Mitch.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Anyway, so yeah, I just did. They had me in their movie The Last Hit. I got a really small It's probably the smallest role I've had in any movie ever. But I did
Nice.
it for Mitch and Ferguson, and I love those
Right on.
guys. And Leanne Bauer, who's
Yeah.
close. I'll do anything for those guys. Even though I'm
Yeah.
in the horror genre and they're in action,
Yeah.
Right.
which is great because I love their vein that they're carving out, which is this new kind of independent action, like
Yeah.
indie action. It kind of reminds me of the Van Damme movies from the '90s.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Those were always the better, maybe not Van Damme, but like Don the Dragon Wilson. That's kind of what reminds me Mitch is kind of doing is he's carving out this new indie action vein, which you don't really see anymore. Not really. I mean, not since like Billy Blanks.
Oh, Billy Blanks,
Billy Blanks
yes.
is like the last indie action.
That's right.
guy,
I've seen a lot of his
technically.
stuff. Yeah.
I do.
There's not
know that
anyone
he did
like that. I think they're building that up. I think Mitch and his team are building up the new indie
I think
action vein.
I think you're probably right.
Which is
yeah.
needed.
Thinking about the shows that they've done, that's what it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're doing. It's great. I love it. Me personally, I'm a horror comedy guy.
Yeah.
I love that stuff, but I love the action stuff too. I'd love to be able to mix the two, kind of like Dusk Till Dawn did with like a crime noir meets a vampire biker movie, but I'd like to do like an actiony horror thing,
Right.
I
like
love
Daylight.
horror. That's my
Daylight,
Daybreakers.
Daybreak?
No,
Yeah, the
Or
one
Day
with Jamie
Shift.
Foxx where he's a vampire hunter.
Day Shift.
Day Shift.
Yeah, I saw that. That's fun.
Yeah, it's a good movie. That's fun.
Yeah.
That's like that. It's a little actiony, a little horror-y,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was a fun one. You mentioned Mike Ferguson, and we've had him on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
Wild.
frequent guest. He's fun.
He's a let's see. He's a exploding volcano that is wrapped inside of a ever expanding supernova that is that's on a collision course to infinity.
Right.
So
right.
we're going to use this as a direct quote. We're going to put this on the DVD box of his next movie that he's got coming
That's
out.
right.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say he's very action packed, but I like your description.
Yeah.
So
yeah, dude. He's in. I just finished a movie with him here, where he's our main bad guy, and called Demon Queen Pinball Machine, and that'll be out this season. It'll be out like September probably.
right
Okay.
on.
Ridiculous.
We just
movie.
watched. Which the one that we just watched with Mike Ferguson last
Blackout.
week? Blackout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we watched
So we
Blackout.
watched Blackout.
How was that?
It was fun. It was
Yeah.
good. It's always fun to see Mike Ferguson doing his thing. The
he's
guy,
crazy, man. He's crazy.
do some fight scenes, and I worked with him on a western that we shot in California, and it was just cool sitting down, talking with him, getting to know him.
Yeah.
And
What was
that
the western called?
It was called Wild West Marshals. It was a proof of concept directed by Tony DeGuide. I don't know if you've met Tony.
The guy?
Yeah, Tony DeGuide.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I know
He
the
was in
name. It
Yeah,
doesn't
he
mean
was in
I haven't
Groundhog's
met him.
Day.
I meet a lot of people, but I also smoke a lot of weeds.
Oh, no,
I have
I bet.
no idea.
Joe Estevez was in it.
Yeah, that's where we met Joe Estevez.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was a little proof of concept that they're shopping around trying to find the budget to film a full feature. So
Yeah. I like
be cool.
westerns. That's my end. My end goal is western.
really,
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've written two. Westerns. The
No.
Burden and 10 Feathers and 6 Bullets Fast.
okay,
Now, are they horror westerns or just strictly western?
The Burden is a fantasy western.
Okay.
And then 10 Feathers and 6 Bullets Fast is a straight up western.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, set like in the mid of just in the height of like the Industrial Revolution's happening. Outlaws are retiring. They're not really much of a thing anymore,
yeah,
and this outlaw, he's like the worst, the most brutal outlaw ever to have lived. is they call him 6 bullets fast because he can fire his revolver faster than you can blink.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And so when he's a kid, I mean, we don't have to get into this. It's just a great story. But yeah,
You're
like
good.
Westerns, that's where I want to go. And I got 2, and that's my end game to my end game, which is video games. Because
Okay.
I got a video game that I've been working on for like 2 years now. That's still in like the development stage.
Yeah.
I got images and I got about 190 pages written, but we're just at the start of it.
Yeah.
It's like a westerny. It's like Fallout meets Red Dead.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm a big
Takes
fan
place
of Red
on
Dead.
Mars. Yeah.
Oh, like Total Recall.
Yeah, like
Yeah, it's like a
Total
mix of-
Recall, but kind of. That's a fun. I've been an avid gamer. Okay, like
Yeah.
I play a lot of Fallout, and when I say a lot, like I mean now since the Fallout 4 came out on my 40th birthday.
Okay.
My wife threw me a Fallout party.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
great.
I don't know if you can see.
I'll be honest with you. I have not played Fallout. I've played Red Dead Redemption till the cows come home. But I
Yeah,
have
they don't
not
have
played
action
Fallout.
figures for that
He's
because I
got,
can't
he's got his
collect
Fallout
them.
trophies.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, look at that. Is that Walton Goggins?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if you've seen any of the trailers for the Fallout show, but Walton Goggins is in it.
Yeah, I haven't. No.
Yeah.
Watch the whole thing. It's out. Season 2 is done.
Nice.
Finished. I watched the last episode yesterday.
Oh, heck
What do you
yeah.
mean? You haven't seen it?
Oh, no.
I haven't seen it. No.
I haven't
Come
seen
on,
it.
man. What do you do all day? You clearly don't have a job.
I'm working. I'm working
I was
on a
talking to
short
your
film
dad.
right now. Oh, my dad? Oh, yeah. He's got nothing going on.
I'm not
Yeah,
retired
Fallout, bro. Anyways,
I'm working
I'm an
on it.
avid gamer. So
Yeah.
I play a lot of games. Fallout, Borderlands, Call of Duty. I'm playing Ghost Recon right now, which is fun. So there still isn't that game out there that I want to play.
Yeah.
They're kind of there. Fallout's kind of there. Borderlands is kind of there. Even Red Dead is there a little bit. They're not what I really want to play. So I started thinking about like what I like, and I started kind of talking to all my buddies because I'm in a community of gamers and stuff, and I've been gaming for fucking 30 years now.
Right.
And I just started asking people what they really wanted out of like an RPG. Like, what would you, and clearly the number one answer is loot. Everyone wants, they want weapons, armor, or, scrap, coin, gold, gear. They want that's what they want. And then the next is like free roaming. You want to roam around, look at shit, pick up flowers. Some reason I'll be in the middle of a shootout in Red Dead and go to catch a butterfly. It's crazy. So that's the kind of stuff I like. So I started working on this game, and it's really fun. It's got like a Fortnite kind of opening, but it doesn't do any of that where it's closing in on you. It's a game. So you basically go to Trash Planet. Okay. The idea is that for the last 200 years, all of Earth has been sending their trash to Mars in giant containers that look like rockets that are on a one-way destination to Mars, where they're just going to crash into the surface and whatever the fuck happens.
Sure.
So that was actually 300 years ago we were doing that. Now, for the last 60 years or so, or 100 years, we've been sending criminals to Trash Planet. Why not? So they built a satellite that's a substation. You fly to the substation, get checked in, get on a drop ship. They drop you to Mars. You jump out of the drop ship, and wherever you land. And that's where you start the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And now, so the way it works is it gets to this drop ship where you're standing at the edge looking out, and it'll just go around the entire map until you jump out. You can't really see where you're jumping out till you jump out, but it'll like go around the map, and it's a single person RPG, and you land, and you don't have anything on you, and you got to start finding and getting answers, because you find out the reason why you're there is because your brother, who was an investigative, he's like with the FBI, he gets killed on the planet undercover, but he sends you a message that you got to go in and find a, stop this, whatever. It's a really cool. Anyways, the story is long, and it involves all the satellites and the.
Now this is the game. This is the game that you're developing.
Yeah.
Right on. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's called Trash Planet, and it's cool, man.
Nice.
It's
It sounds pretty cool. Yeah.
And it has all that has that feeling of like Fallout, because everything's nostalgic, because it's all our old trash. So it's gonna have areas where it's looks like they've taken every kind of logo, every mascot, and built a whole area out of it. Like a giant Texaco sign, but clearly not Texaco, and McDonald's is not that made up for the game, but it'll look like that. You go in, it'll be like Nuka-Cola. You go in, it's familiar. You know?
Right.
And
absolutely.
Yeah. So, and then there's anyway. So it's my dream project to get made is this thing called Trash Planet. That's my end game. That's where all the money is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It
video games
takes $50 million to make a video game. But they make 300, 400 million, Yeah. I mean, the same person who goes and sees Sorority is going to go buy Call of Duty.
Yeah.
That's $12 ticket versus a $65, $99 ticket, $109 ticket. Because I've bought all the Ultimate Edition, whatever. Oh, the Ultimate Edition Gold package is $109. Okay.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, it's like, I'll get this new armor for $35. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Right.
I've definitely dropped some money on Destiny, so I know what that's.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I'm a looter shooter guy, so that's kind of.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of why I like Warzone, man. You can drop in, loot, you get a bunch of money, try not to get killed. That's fun that way. But I like other games. I like the storyline too. Like Fallout 4, like has a great story.
Yeah.
Storyline's great. The building's great. That's what I enjoy most out of video games. That's what I want to build in video games.
So you're a world builder. That's kind of what. Would you say that movies are too small for? I mean, obviously you make movies and you enjoy it, but do you think
movies
that that's
are too
small?
small for me? I'm moving to
no. Yeah. So, like, do you feel like constrained when you're making a movie, or is it like when you're making a movie, you're in the moment, you enjoy it, but you still have that world building, philosophy?
No. There's 3 avenues that I work in. One is the film, which is the script writing, which is a very narrow budget driven vein. Mm-hmm. You can't, you got to keep your film on a budget because maybe you only raised $100,000 to shoot your movie, but your script is $1 million script. So you got to be like, all right, we got to pull this way back in and not lose all the sauce. Right. So that's really hard to do as a filmmaker. So you're very constrained by the budget and the budget dictates cast and location and time. You can't get a big name or even a mediocre name on a smaller budget. Yeah. Even someone you would think like Tom Arnold. Let's call him. He's still like $100,000. It's Tom Arnold. He's worth it. You know what I mean? He's worth the money. People will pay to watch Tom Arnold. I will.
Yeah.
What is your go-to? A lot of people that listen to the show are indie filmmakers, and they're kind of wanting to go and make their own feature films. What is your go-to approach for finding a budget?
The script. Write the script, and then break the script down. Break it down. Hire a line producer, for like $2,000 and have them break the script down.
Okay.
They'll come back to you and say, I broke it down 3 different ways: indie, medium, SAG. And then they'll give you these budgets. And then you could say, we can do what's lower than indie, because that's where we're at. And you say, look, and some of these I've had line producers come back to me and they'll be like, your budget's $30 million. And I'll just be like, you're out of your fucking mind. No, it's not. Yeah. And that's because they're just doing their job correctly.
Right.
And then I come in and go, no. We're going to get that same shot for no money because I'm going to beg this dude to let me do it here.
Yeah. Right.
That's how that works. And then that's how you go then you make your movie. Raise your money. I don't know how to. The order is wonky. It's wonky because studios have money and then they find a script. Guys like me write a script and find money.
Right.
Okay.
And sometimes you don't even need to do that. All you need is a pitch an idea to get the money, then write the script. If you can do that, if you know investors who you're like, guys, look, give me $75,000. I'm going to go make this horror movie. Then go write your script. You don't necessarily need the script. They don't need to read it. I've had investors invest and never looked at a script. Never even looked.
Really?
At it. They don't care.
Huh.
They want the money back. They're about the money. Who's in it? What can you do for me? Do we even like you? Are you nice? Who are you as a person? That's what they're investing in.
This is a business. This is a business for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't give a shit about the storyline. Are they going to make money? And are you a trustworthy person? Can you fulfill your ego and say, you give me this much money, I'm going to make a movie, and I'm going to show you just how badass I can be.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you deliver that? You have to sell all that within like 3 seconds when you got an investor.
So these producers are like those guys who can win a hand of poker without looking at their cards. They don't need to look at the cards. They're just so good at.
Doesn't matter what you got in your hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I rule at 5 card.
Right on. So I had 2 things I kind of wanted to. One of them was last night I sat down and I watched 100 Tears.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry.
Actually, I didn't think it was too bad, and I got to tell you, I loved your character.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought you did a fantastic job. You and who was the girl that was with you?
Her name is Georgia Chris.
Yes.
Yeah.
She did a fantastic job.
Yeah,
also,
her real last name's
two...
like Krista Lakapakalocalis.
Yeah,
so she just goes by Georgia Chris.
That's probably easier.
Yeah.
So I mean, the story was okay, and there was a lot of rapid killing and stuff.
Well, that to be fair, that came from my buddy Marcus Cook, who initially got the directing credit because he's a gore meister. He's very well known for all his gore in all his movies. So teaming up with him was to be expected through the indie horror scene.
Right.
That movie was made 20 years ago.
Yeah, back in 2007, I think is when it came out. But I thought the story was kind of cool. But I really, honestly, I really liked the characters that you two played. I thought the characters were really neat. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Thank you. Yeah. I love those two. I wanted to make characters that were friends, but there's no sexual tension between them. And you see that a lot. And I try so hard to stay away from that in my horror film. That being said, Sorority broke all my rules, and I had nudity. Up until Sorority, I didn't have any nudity in my movies. I didn't want to. You got all these other independent horror guys just flashing every scene. And I was like, I don't want to be that dude. I want to make, I don't know, like fun horror comedies, but I don't need to put that shit in there. We don't have a little bit of, but I don't want to see it. And Sorority is the first one where I showed nudity. And anyways, I don't know what we're talking about. What were we talking about?
we were talking about 100 Tears, but that's okay.
So the camaraderie between those two,
right,
Mark and Jennifer, because
those two characters, right?
Yeah, because I didn't want to have that love interest. Everyone wants a love interest. They always want to see that. Everybody, every
Yeah.
producer I talk to, where's the love interest?
Right.
Me and a fucking pizza. Get out of my face.
Right on.
What is something you've learned in your filmmaking journey about dealing with producers? Is it always a tough relationship, or have you had some producers that were absolutely invaluable and that are great collaborators with you, and that you couldn't do this without them?
Yeah, so far I've only had great producers. I haven't met. Oh, I take that back.
He just thought of one.
Yeah, there's one. Um, yeah, you guys should look up a movie called Hank, and then another movie called The Bellkeeper, and just look at the similarities.
Okay,
Uh,
we'll look those up.
anyways, outside of that, I've had great producers. Like I said, Bernie Stern was fantastic. Jared Foreman for Sorority, he was probably my most invaluable when it came to Sorority of the Dam. He's helping me right. He's basically my producer now for all my projects. Anything I have, I'm going to Jared. I don't care who's involved.
Yeah.
Right on.
You know, you got to have these guys who are straightforward and who uh, they're they're going to be a little tough on you. I need it because I'm very much uh, I go kind of on the seat of my pants, off the cuff, but that all comes from my improv. It's just the improv is invaluable throughout life in every stage of whatever you do. Raising your kids to making a sandwich, improv comes in. Like you know what I mean? So like when I'm dealing with budgets or production or whatever, it sometimes it gets a little. I'm gone off the fucking books because I've got a better idea, and especially if I've written the script and I got it funded, there's a good chance that I'm gonna just change it in the middle of the night and not tell anybody. So guys like Jared go, no, you can't because we're budgeted at this, okay? And now that you've extended this scene, even though it's a half a page, you put in a fighter jet. We can't afford that,
Yeah.
you know. And those are those kind of producers are the ones who will get you really far because they don't want to they don't want to stop you. They
Right.
just want you to understand that like you got to stay within this budget. You can be wacky, go do something crazy, sure, but do it within the budget. They don't care. As
Right.
long as you're within the
Right.
circle of money, they'll let you bounce around all goddamn day. But and you need that, and that's kind of how Bernie was. That's how Jared is for sure. You know, these guys are top notch producers.
Right on.
So you were talking about how that one paragraph can, throw everything into chaos.
Right.
My dad doesn't know the story, but I bet you do. You're familiar with the film Cabin in the Woods, correct?
Of course.
Yeah,
I love
that
Cabin in
movie.
the Woods.
Yeah, it's a great movie. But there's a part in the script where there's one line of action and it says chaos ensues. And that's all that is in the script.
Yeah.
But it took months and months of filming in different angles and special effects
Yeah,
and just all this crazy
That's right at
stuff.
the end.
Yep. And just the chaos ensues portion of that script is like 15 minutes of just absolute mayhem.
Yeah.
And it is so cool. It's so fun and absolutely worth it. But it just goes to show
Tarantino
you
kind
that
of writes like that. Tarantino will say action fight or fight scene ensues forever fucking long.
and then a 20-minute fight scene with the crazy 88.
Yeah.
There's not a ton of direction built into it. Let's just see what happens.
Well,
here.
you don't have to. Like I've learned over the years that you got department heads for a reason, right? So Tarantino hires the best stunt fight coordinator Asia has to offer. You write fight scene, move to the next scene that's more important to you with writing and the dialogue. Because then you hire your stunt guy to come in and be like, look, this is what I need to happen. She comes in, the crazy 88 come out, everyone dies. Make it a thing. And then they do. And you come back and go, God, that's amazing. All right, I'm going to adjust from here. And that's how that works. And that's exactly, I do the same thing, man. I do the same thing. The effects for Sorority, I knew Roy and his team had it. I didn't have to even make a sketch. for anything because I knew they would know what an earth witch looked like, and a fire witch, and a water witch, and a air witch, and a fucking golem, and all we had to say, when Ken Hall, who designed the statue costume, Ken is also the writer of a movie called Puppet Master. If you ever saw that, really big.
No way, the original Puppet Master?
Yeah, the whole series. Yeah, Ken,
Wow.
the guy who sculpted our statue in Sorority, played by Jeremy Lester. He also plays the cemetery guardsman, the gate guy. If you watch Sorority, he's like, you can't go in there. I was like, more like that, Ken. Let's really Scooby-Doo him up. That's a good idea.
His scream was the funniest thing I'd ever heard in my entire life. I laughed my head off. I thought that was so funny.
That's Ken Hall, dude. He wrote Puppet Master.
That is crazy.
I have the original first printed Puppet Master signed by him. He gave it to me on set.
Oh wow,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I saw the first two. I haven't gone past the first two yet.
I was a kid. I was like 10 when those came out.
Yeah,
that dude did my statue for my movie.
That's
what I mean.
What a crazy world that you go into this and you want to make a movie, and then you start meeting collaborators and you start meeting some of your heroes, and just you never know who you're going to. I had no idea that I was going to sit down and have a breakfast burrito with Joe Estevez.
Right.
That was not on my bingo card. But it's really cool.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Well, that's the fun part of life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like I got to do a scene with Richard Elfman. Oingo Boingo, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's Richard Elfman.
Yeah.
He's cool, dude. He invited me to his house. He cooked me dinner.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Him and his wife, Anastasia, are, when I think of Hollywood artists, it's only a few of these people. It's Evangeline. I don't know if you're familiar with her in LA. She was all over the place, drives a pink Corvette, always has. She had her own billboards up for a while in LA. Long time. Look up Evangeline, LA.
Okay.
She's a local celebrity.
I got a lot of stuff I'm writing down here. Hold on.
Yeah, Evangeline, dude, it's crazy. Once you research her, you're gonna be like, who is this crazy woman? I think of her. I think of the Elfmans because of Richard with Oingo Boingo and his brother Danny with everything he's done.
Right.
These are what I call Hollywood artists. They've been around for so long that they are Hollywood. You know what I mean? Guys like Richard Elfman, he's an icon. He's a treasure.
Yeah.
Forbidden Zone, his movie Forbidden Zone is like one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. If you haven't seen Forbidden Zone, watch it. Get high first or really drunk. Probably high.
We'll paint this room and then we'll watch it.
Yeah.
Psychedelic.
Yeah, but those opportunities, those are amazing to me. Those are fantastic, and that's what this is about.
Yeah.
I've definitely experienced that, and it's something I enjoy.
So tell me about your experience with the Stranger Things. You were in season 2.
Yeah.
And I know you were in 4 different episodes.
Yeah, I was a co-star.
So I watched all the Stranger Things, but then I went back and I watched everything that you were in.
Yeah. And great, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Another character that I absolutely loved.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
I wish I had gotten more screen time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw episode 1 just a tiny bit. Episode 2, you got more, and I think you got a line. And then episode 6 and 8, I mean, you were quite a bit.
They kill you.
Yeah, and then you die. Which, spoiler alert, in case anybody doesn't know
dogs
this. But,
get me.
Yeah.
Why do all the scientists go into an elevator? Doesn't make any scientists. They should know how to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Right. We didn't think that one through very well.
And if they were smart, they would have stayed where they were because the demi-dogs chased everyone out of the room. If you stayed in the room, they would have fucking left, and then you go the other way.
Yeah.
So how did the Stranger Things for you? How did this come about, and what was your experience with it?
Well, it was only good things. I had at the time I had an agent here in Tampa, and the craziest thing, I feel like I've told this story 1,000 times. The craziest thing to me was I just finished watching the first season of Stranger Things. Not 30 minutes before my agent called me. I finished.
Oh, really?
I finished the last episode. Me and my wife finished it, and I said, "That's cool, man. That's a cool show. I really like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it." I go in the kitchen. I don't know. I get like a fucking drink or something. I just kind of remember it because I remember I got up, I went to the kitchen, I did something, and then my phone rang. It was on the table. It was my agent. I was like, "Oh, it's my agent." I was like, "What's up, Amy?" And she's like, "Hey, you have an audition." I said, "Okay, yay!" And she's like, "You heard of the show just came out called Stranger Things?" And I said, "Are you fucking kidding me? I just finished it. Like,
There's no
I
way.
just
Yeah.
finished it." And she's like, "Yeah, you have an audition for that. I'm going to send you the sides. It's due like Friday or whatever." This was like Wednesday. I said, "Okay, yeah, yeah." Sends it to me. She's like, "I need to warn you, it's long." It was 6 pages, 6 pages of dialogue,
Huh.
which is huge. I've never had an audition that big.
Uh-huh.
I laid all the pages out. I studied them for like 18 hours. And my wife's really good too because she'll help me audition. And she's real good at being a scene reader.
Right.
You know, she can inflect and kind of feel the moment. She's real good. I told her she should be a voice actor. So, anyways, I do the audition. I send it in. 2 days go by, a couple days go by. I get a call. I get a call back. She's like, "All right, they want you to do this other part. Do this other audition. Do this other character."
Mm-hmm.
So I said, "Okay." I do. Maybe that was the six. That was the 6 pages. The first one I don't think was 6 pages. Maybe 3. But this one was the 6 page. Whatever. I do the audition. I send it in. Like 2 days later, I get horribly sick. It's like I'm dying. I think I have pneumonia. I don't know what I have. I was dying. I'm in bed for like 3 days. My phone died like a week ago. I didn't even care. I finally get up. I turn my phone back on. And I remember I'm sitting at the table, I'm eating chicken soup because I finally feel well enough to sit and eat.
Right.
And you know, your phone beeps to let you know you have messages where it's like meh, meh. So my wife's sitting at the table, I'm at the table, like this sucks. And my phone's just like meh, 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 meh. And it does it like 15 times. And I was like, dude, that's a lot of messages. So I look at it and it's Amy. I'm like, wow, she called a lot. So I call her back. I was like, hey, what's up? She's like, where the have you been? I was like, I've been sick. I just literally turned my phone on. I've been sick for 3 days. She's like, you got the role. And I was like, what role? And she's like, Stranger Things. And I was like, what? I did? She's like, yeah, they're going to call you like tomorrow. And I said, okay, cool. But I'm still too sick to like appreciate it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, they called me and they said, hey, we need you to come up on Monday for a fitting. And I said, yeah, no problem. Whatever you want. You just tell me where to be and I'll be there. And then he called me back like an hour later and he's like, can you be here tomorrow? And I said, well, I can drive up first thing in the morning. I'll drive right to you. It's about 9 hours. I said, I'll drive right up to you. And he's like, oh, yeah, great. All right, we'll just put you up in a hotel or whatever. I said, yeah, cool. So I did. I left in the morning at like 6 in, drove to Atlanta, right to location where they were shooting, which was the pumpkin patch. You know, the ooey pumpkin patch.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I go on the set, the wardrobe's there. They walk, everyone knew who I was. It's so weird. I just arrived and everyone was like, Joe, and I was like, yeah. Like, get over here. And I was like, how did you know that? I hadn't talked to anyone.
Yeah.
Right.
So I go in the wardrobe and meet the 2 girls. They're great. I wish I could remember their names because I became really friendly with them. So we try on a couple different looks. They take some pictures. They said, that's it, you're done. I was like, that was like 4 minutes. They're like, yeah. I said, okay. So the AD comes up to me. He said, oh, hey, here's your money for your gas and per diem or whatever. And you're staying at this hotel. Just go check in. You know, you can leave in the morning or whatever. I said, okay, cool. So I got a beautiful hotel. You know, they covered everything. And then yeah, I went home, and then they called me up like the next Wednesday, and I was only supposed to be on one day.
Oh,
Yeah, I was only supposed to do one scene, and I
now was this as the scientist?
yeah. So
Okay.
what happened was I'm me. I'm just being me, man. So I'm on set having a good time. I actually run into Paul Reiser at the craft service trailer because we were both getting coffee, and he knew I was playing the nerdy tech
Right.
guy next to him. And then he's like, "How you want to, He's like, "How you want to do this?" I said, "Well, you're a comedian, and I've been doing comedy for 20 years." He's like, "Okay." He's like, "All right, we'll figure it
Okay.
out." I said,
Yeah.
"Yeah, so whatever." And then we had coffee, and then we waited, and we waited, and we had more coffee and some snacks. He and I got to hang out. That was cool, And then we're in the build because that's a set, so it's inside Screen Gems Studios.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm standing on set, and the doors open. This big door, man. It's like this, It's like five. It's like that thick, dude. Right, soundproof.
Yeah.
So this giant door slowly creaks open, and I turn around, and it's the Duffer Brothers walking in.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, "Oh shit!" And they're like, "Joe," and I was like, "Me?" And they're like,
So
"Yeah,
everybody
what's up,
knows
man?"
you.
They're like, "What's up?" I said, "Hey, what's going on?" They're like, "Right on, man." So I came up, I gave them a hug, which I don't think they were expecting, and and then we went and shot that one scene, which was me with the ball. I turn around, see the console, and then and we're back on that whole bit, and then that was it.
Right.
But I was alone. I was there, dude. This is how fucking crazy it is. I was there like midday. They did a bunch of shit with everybody, all the kids. They were all in there. I met all of them. Great. Everybody was great. The craft service people were fantastic. Everybody, really good experience. They leave. Everyone's done, and they're like, "All right, Joe, you're on." Everyone left, man. It was just me. It was me and Andrew Stanton, the Academy Award winning director, Bob Glick, who was the DP, and myself. And it was just us shooting that one scene. I had my
Right on.
first day on set ended with me all by myself for like an hour with the whole crew, and cracked them the up, dude. I was just a wheel back, but the floor they were using some they weren't using concrete because you can't fucking lay concrete.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was like some sort of rock kind of material, but I crushed it in the chair when I wheeled back. I just crushed, and I was like, oh my! It was like a trench I built, and I was like, oh my god! I was like, holy shit! And they came in and they're looking, and the Duffer Brothers and the fucking. I said, this is what happens when you get fat guys, man. We just break. So they're like, all right, hold on, we'll figure it out. So they laid some mats down and shit, and then we redid it, and yeah, and then I was wrapped. That was that was it. So it's like 9 o'clock at night. I'm like, yo, what are we doing? Who's hanging out? No, I'm going to bed, man. We're gonna be back here like 7 in the morning. I was like,
yeah.
come on.
I
Some of the
bet.
extras was like, yo, you guys want to go back and hang out? Let's get high. Nah. What? Oh, I don't smoke. What do you mean you don't? Where am I right now? Yeah. So so I ended up going back to the hotel, and in the morning, it was like, I checked out like 11 or whatever. I'm driving back home. So I got a 9-hour drive. And my agent calls me. I'm about 2 hours into the drive. And she's like, how'd it go? I said, well, I think it went good. I think they love me. I said, I broke a lot of shit,
Gosh.
because I think I fucked up the chair and I fucked up the floor. And
Bet she loved hearing that.
yeah, I pulled on the microphone at one point and ripped the thing. Anyways, so I just broke some, which I think was endearing to them.
Sure.
Oh, he's just a big dummy. And so she said, well, they want you back for like 4 more episodes. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, they want you back. She's like, this is huge. I said, yeah, this is
Yeah.
great. I said, all right, now we need to start pimping me out more. And then
Yeah.
2 days later, I met with her and she said, hey, I'm not going to be your agent anymore. I'm quitting because I'm also going to pursue acting. So
Oh,
then I
wow.
lost my agent and I didn't have an
Oh, wow.
agent. And I still don't really have an agent in Tampa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Uh,
Yeah.
Has that like affected things greatly, or are you're like water off a duck's back and you're just like, I'll just keep plugging along?
Yeah, because the stuff I do, man, I can't, they can't help me. They can't raise money for me. They can't
Yeah.
write my scripts. I go
Right.
write them, find the money, hope to get investors and we go make a movie. My
Yeah.
agents are like, they submit my headshot to, the next, auto zone commercial. Like they don't
Yeah.
care. They
Right.
can't do for me what I do for me.
Yeah.
They're just hoping maybe I'll land a role and make them $100 if they're lucky,
Mhm.
and unfortunately, that's all they really are. They don't care like that. They don't. You're just another head to them in the pile of headshots.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
So no, I've gotten more on my own than I'll ever have with any agent or manager or anything.
I've heard that
Nice.
from comedians also. I've had comedians tell me they're just like, dude, why get an agent? Like I book all my stuff myself anyway. So
Yeah, you can just book yourself. Yeah, that's basically what I do. I only get roles if I write and produce them
yeah.
because I can audition. I audition I had 2 auditions this week already.
Well, I
You know what
think
I
when
mean?
I talked to you, I talked to you on the phone, and you said that you were going to come from a table read.
Yeah, I had a table read today for a movie I'm doing with a dude named Rick Danford. He's a horror guy, local Tampa guy. Um,
Okay.
it's a pretty fun little bit. It's a film within a film, so it's kind of a cool
Huh.
little thing.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm only on for like 4 hours because I know the guy. You know,
Yeah.
but they wanted to do a table read,
Maybe.
which was like a cakewalk. So I was like, all right, done.
Nice. I love table reads. They're
Me
fun.
too. I like rehearsals, man. A lot of people don't
It's
do them.
it's cool being able to see this thing that you've written finally start to come to life, because it doesn't truly come to life until actors sit down and read it with you, and you have it's so great when you write something that you think is funny and at the table read they read it and everyone starts laughing. It's
Oh,
just
I
like,
was gonna say, and no one laughs. You're like, all right, I'm gonna have to
oh
rewrite.
yeah,
that.
that's
One-
that's terrible.
one way or the
yeah.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I've done
immediately
that
go,
before.
it didn't work. Oh, the joke didn't
Yeah.
work? Okay, try
It's
something
like,
else.
cut that out.
Yeah.
cut that.
Yeah. Just kidding. We didn't mean that one. Say something else better.
Yeah, and then that's when you just move into linorama and start doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what books? Plug your books for me. What books have you
Oh,
written, or
man.
what do you? Paul Reiser's on the shelf.
All right. Well, I have this series, which is called Mike Strong for Hire. This first book's called Journey into Hell.
Journey into Hell. Okay.
I've seen the cover for that one.
Yeah, Mike Strong it's a 1950s crime noir supernatural horror series. Mike Strong is fresh from World War II. He gained certain powers in the war. He became an immortal because his unit was supposed to go behind enemy lines and stop Hitler's occult regimen. And when they get there, this dude turns out to be a necromancer, and he's trying to raise an army of the dead to fight America. And Mike is in the military because he was a professor at Harvard for the occult. So they recruited him to come in to decipher stuff when they find it because they don't know what they're looking at. Anyways, so they end up in a fight with this necromancer. He realizes that there's the spear of destiny is on a mantle in this room where this dude's trying to raise all these dead people. He grabs that to kill the dude. And when he does that, he basically sends himself into like a different plane where he's met by a Valkyrie who basically turns him immortal. And then he realizes that angels and demons and werewolves and vampires and ghouls and goblins and everything in between exists. And then he comes back to life in the middle of the morgue in the same room where everything just happened, and all his soldiers in his unit watched him vaporize and then reappear. Basically, is what happened. And they're like, "Well, that was different." And then they realize he's immortal, and they realize he can't die. And then he just starts cutting down Nazis with his team, and they all kind of make a pact to never tell anyone that he's an immortal. My goal is to turn Mike Strong into a television series.
Oh no, that would be cool because I don't read. So
Yeah,
I see this as a script.
Yeah,
as
it's
a
cool.
series,
It
yeah.
was a script. Originally started as a script called Journey into Hell. And I was like, this is too good to be a script. It needs to be a movie.
right.
Or a book series.
A book.
So anyway, so that's we follow him, and he's got a partner named Becky Dieter, and she's a fast talking, witty journalist who works for the Bellevue Herald, which is the newspaper, and they're partners. So like she knows everything on the street about politicians and gangsters and who's with who and all this stuff. And Mike knows all the underbelly stuff, like what politicians talking to what demon, what gangsters talking to who, who's working with.
Yeah.
So together they're constantly like catching these assholes, investigating.
Now this is my kind of thing. This sounds really interesting, and this would make me want to start reading.
Yeah.
I might start reading.
Well, it's a fun series, man. Yeah. And then I have this Team Adventure Club. This one's called
which is
Cold
the
Front.
opposite.
This is called Cold Front. This is a kids action adventure series set up like Kim Possible meets Scooby-Doo. Team Adventure Club. This is book 1. Book 2 is also out, called Captain Cutthroat's Revenge, where they end up finding a 200-year-old pirate ship with a cursed pirate, Captain Cutthroat, who's still on the boat.
Nice.
All of these character names are awesome.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's Captain's Cutthroat Revenge. That's book 2. Book 3 is coming soon. I'm really behind on that one. And then I have this one. This one's cool. You can get this right now on Amazon as well. This is called Death's Campaign. And it's about King Marithro, his brand new baby who just turned 1 gets assassinated by the ice sorcerer, and he's so distraught he doesn't know what to do. So he calls upon his best friend, King Edwin of Dragon's Cave, who's like the baddest motherfucker in town. Yeah, so it's a fun book, Death's Campaign.
Nice.
And then I have like this, which is the incredibly not so true adventures of Sam and William.
Okay.
That's a cool title.
Yeah, Sam and William are these 2 idiots who discover time travel and then get stuck traveling through time and occasionally come across an actual historical event that happened because they made it happen by accident.
Well, that's cool. These sound like really neat stories.
Yeah, and then there's that, and then I got other stuff I've written, comic books, and
all right. Well,
Joe, I am really glad.
comics.
Oh heck yeah, those are cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
There you go. The eyes.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, and
Thank you.
we talked about Stranger Things. We talked about
I think I talked
Sorority.
a long time. I don't know if anybody's even watching. Is anyone even in here? Send a message.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm glad you came on.
What? I'm
And,
sorry. What?
You have family to go take care of. So
Yeah, I have a little baby over here, Bella. Isabella
All right.
Jubilee. She got her
Right on.
name
Nice.
because I was in New Mexico. Nope, I was in Vegas. I was in New Mexico. We were in LA. We drove to Vegas, and along the way, there's a cave system. There's this little place called I don't know, Little Town, something like that. There's a cave called the Jubilee Cave. I was in that cave when my wife called me and told me that she was pregnant with our baby.
all right.
And
Nice.
she said, I want to name her Isabella. and I said we should name her Jubilee. Her middle name should be Jubilee because I'm in the Jubilee Cave right now. So
Right.
it
Nice.
became Isabella Jubilee, and I think it's probably one of the best names I've ever heard in my life.
Right on.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
She's got to be
Yeah.
a superstar. Is that cat food? Are you eating cat food? She's not
What?
a superstar. She's eating cat food.
Good
What
grief.
what a good way to end the
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jubilee is eating cat food.
there you go. All right. Well, we ready to head on out of here?
I think
All
we
right.
are. Joe, thank you for
Thank
coming
you,
on.
guys.
This was fantastic getting to know you better. So
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we hit the
button.
button.
Yeah,
Do
you
it.
guys are out. Are we done?
Almost.
What do I do?
And we're gone.
There we go. Now we're good.
Now we're gone.
All right.
All right.
See you later,
I had a
Joe.
good time. I hope I wasn't boring.
No, not at all,
I
man.
I
talked a
like
lot.
the stories.
Yeah.
All right, guys. See ya.
Thanks,
Thank you
man.
so much. Had a
Good meeting you,
time.
man.
Thank you.
All righty.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Hey guys, thanks for listening to My Dad's Movie Podcast. We would like to offer a shout out to our oldest son tier patron, Jared Louder. If you too would like your name shouted out at the end of our episodes, head over to patreon.com, My Dad's Movie Podcast, and sign up for the $5 oldest son tier. And thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to My Dad's Movie Podcast. We had a lot of fun creating it, and we hope you enjoyed it.
For more content, please check us out at Facebook and YouTube at My Dad's Movie Podcast, or visit our website, mydadsmoviepodcast.com.
And always, if you'd like to help support us, please check out our Patreon at My Dad's Movie Podcast.
Thanks for listening, everybody.